Welcome to Thrones and Scones. It's your weekend afternoon podcast where we talk Game of Thrones over no meal in particular. Today, we are hitting Season 5, episode, all of them, although really only the last 3. And no scone to speak of. I mean, we had a bunch in Season 5. Maybe we'll talk about the best and the worst on the scone front as well. Who knows what we'll get into? And I think I'm doubling down on that claim because we have a guest with us again. You know him. You tolerate him. It's Rob Bullock from And Rob's Your Uncle. We love him. I don't want to put words in the audience's mouth, you know?
No, I'm fine with tolerate. Tolerate is an emotion that I am A-okay with.
Very familiar with quiet contempt. Rob, of course, has joined us for, I think, the season finales for Season 1 and Season 3, and so he's our odd friend.
Wordplay.
Because of the math. And so he's here again for to end Season 5 with us. And you know what? Normally we do it at the end, but I tell you what. Let's shake things. Let's throw them upside down. Rob, you have a podcast as well. I mean, I think most people do at this point.
Yeah, everyone's got a podcast.
You in particular have one that we care about.
Yes. It is called And Rob's Your Uncle, where we discuss all manner of things. Mm-hmm. I give advice. We talk about jobs that we find on Craigslist. Sometimes we sing songs. Tony sang a song with us.
That was a lot of fun.
And... you know.
What was it about? I guess you'll have to go find it.
Yeah, you'll have to listen all the way to the end. We do that on purpose.
That's a nice little tease there. Tease it out of them. Work the shaft. Anyway, I actually.
Sorry, that made me laugh.
I appreciate it. I regretted saying it the moment I was like, that didn't have anything to do with anything. When you're just in that slap-happy mood where you're like, I can say things that middle schoolers will find funny, and that's good content, right?
Yeah, middle schoolers and Rob.
I'll giggle. I think I've gotten into the habit, and everyone listening to the show is probably like, yeah, you have, where it's like, I'll say something that's not funny, and you two, very obviously and very understandably, won't laugh, but then I'll laugh really hard to make up for it. And I'm not really laughing. I'm just filling the silence and the void in my life. And this is just what my life is without a co-host. It's just me, and then I don't have a laugh track, so I make it. Just pretend like that's quality. Yeah. A look behind the curtain. The curtain of sadness.
Have you looked into getting like a some sort of laugh track or some sound machine?
Soundboard with some farts. And what would be like the top 5 things you'd want in a soundboard?
Well, I think we'd absolutely need, for significant deaths, brutal moments, anything like that. We obviously need a
see,
of course.
I think that's just not good enough. I think you need a Scooby-Doo rut-row.
I respect that as well. Yeah, that was very good.
Do you want me to do your episode recap of Scooby-Doo?
Yes, please.
Yes, we do.
Recap the entirety of Season 5 very briefly as Scooby-Doo.
Well, in the beginning...
Zoinks.
A bunch of things happened. It's hard to talk further more in Scooby-Doo.
See, we get a little bit of we get a little bit of Yoda there at the end of it.
Illuminati confirmed. Yoda is Scooby-Doo. Knew it. Do you guys? Again, we're all too old now to really understand the genesis of any of this stuff, if it even has an explanation. But these Shaggy memes that came out a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Were like my favorite things. Did you guys? Did you guys see these?
I didn't see these.
No.
What? It was just a bunch of behind-the-scenes like screenshots from like bonus content in the Scooby-Doo live-action movie from I don't even know when, a decade ago.
It has to be.
And it was just like they would superimpose text of like the cast talking about the fact that Shaggy was basically a god and was like just. It's impossible to explain because it doesn't make any sense, but they were great.
I think the original, the reason that it started, because I looked it up because I was very curious on why it started. I think that there was a bonus content, like an interview with Matthew Lillard, where he said something about Shaggy being a god, and then someone found it on the internet, and it was just like, now Shaggy is God. He is all powerful, and this is Shaggy.
Yeah, this is this. I found one right now, and it's just a picture of like on the cat, like on the chair or whatever when they're talking about him, and behind is Freddie Prinze Jr., which I totally forgot was in that movie.
Yeah, where's he been?
And it just says he had this word that he'd say, zoinks. As soon as he'd say it, the whole cast and crew would drop to their knees and worship him. We had no control over our bodies during this. We belonged to Shaggy.
My favorite one was somebody talking about. There was actually no CGI in the movie. It was just Shaggy summoning demons and enslaving them to his bidding or something like that.
That's funny.
So it was quite ridiculous. Well, anyway, thank you for the very brief recap, Rob. If it seemed nonsensical and you didn't get much from it, it's because really, again, with the exception of the last few episodes, not a ton happens in season 5. I'm just going back through my notes here. First of all, as far as Good, Bad, and Jugglies go, we missed episode 2, we missed episode 6, we missed episode 8, we missed episode 9. So 4, on par with season 4 for missed boobage. And then just going through things that happened, Mance Rayder dies is kind of the only big thing in episode 1. Oh, and of course, Melisandre asked Jon if he's a virgin. In episode 2, Arya gets into the House of Black and White. Drogon's back. It's kind of it. In episode 3...
Well, that was the first episode with the Sons of Harpies, too, wasn't it? When Drogon came back?
I just have my
yes.
my RIP list. That's all I have.
Oh. Hold on. I gotta think of an appropriate song to mourn the dead.
Yeah. Well, you already said Mance Rayder, right? And then...
Well, don't go through them yet.
Yeah.
What's a fitting song?
I would like a little
dead?
R. Kelly. I Believe I Can Fly.
Nope, sorry. R. Kelly's been removed from all playlists,
Done.
pending a full investigation of his crimes.
Isn't that Seal? Isn't I Believe I Can Fly Seal?
No, it's R. Kelly.
Oh,
No, definitely R. Kelly.
never mind then.
How about
The only Seal song I know is the I could bring you to a kiss on the Don't know the words to it.
we could do Life
Free
is a
Willy
Highway.
song.
Life is a highway.
Little peppy.
While we're all talking about R. Kelly, can we talk about the most, just, I think, inherently confusing song that exists, which is
Trapped in the Closet?
Trapped in a Closet?
That was the I forget which was it. Stephen Colbert, I don't know. Someone had the joke. One of the late night show hosts, I believe, was talking about it was Trevor Noah. He's like, think of how many more with R. Kelly in prison, nothing to do. Think of how many more parts of Trapped in the Closet he can make. Yikes. Has anyone actually watched the full thing, the full,
music video,
hour or whatever it is?
I think I watched it. I think I watched it only because I was very confused because it came on. This was because it came on MTV back when I was a teen and MTV still played music videos and I would watch them. And I remember it coming on and I just, the time of one song went and I was just like, wow, this is a long song. And the time of two songs went. It's like, damn. And then I think I just got so confused and so intrigued. I was like, how long is this going to be?
You're in for the long haul now, yeah.
Yeah.
And it pales in comparison, of course, to Trapped in the Drive-Thru, the Weird Al parody. Arguably much better.
So apparently Trapped in the Closet has 12 chapters. How hilarious. I think there may even be more. I don't know. But
One of the most...
it's ridiculous. And the actual, like, the song music video thing, I just don't get it. I mean, was it meant to be like a... I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I think
I
it
have no
was
idea.
R. Kelly innovating music videos.
Yeah, of course.
That's what he was
Yes.
trying to do.
But I mean, does he understand what the term trapped in the closet means? Like,
Maybe I think it was all just a ploy to set the world up for one of the best South Park episodes.
that's true.
Of,
That's
of,
a good one.
And I pulled out my gun.
And I'm trapped in the closet. What?
Now all
great
these
song.
boys in the closet.
Well, in the music video too,
bananas.
I just love it because it's like, the song's just ridiculous to begin with because there's one part in the song I remember where it's just like gibberish and it's just like it's just 5 or 6 lines that end with the word closet, and it's just like I'm trapped in the closet, and then someone else is walking to the closet. They're gonna realize I'm in the closet. It's so ridiculous, and that was probably spot on. So we're probably gonna get sued.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna
you
get
just gotta
copyright flagged.
you just gotta rate it like we do when we sing songs. 10 out of 10 songs.
10 out of 10 songs. Oh. I'm so 40 plus saddest songs ever on popsugar.com. Like the first one pictured is The Heart Wants What It Wants, Selena Gomez. One of the 40 saddest songs of all
That's
time.
the number one saddest song.
That is
A song
No,
I've
it's not the
ever-
number one, but it's like
Oh.
the icon that they use, the picture that they use for the story. It's the number 3 saddest song on the list. So I guess that's the song that we'll do here. Let me find the lyrics. Jeremy,
Yeah.
rest in peace. Tell me who we lost in season 5.
All right. Episode 1, Mance Raider.
You got me sipping on
And
something.
then episode 2,
can't compare
we
to
have really
you.
no one to mention. Episode
I've
3,
never known hope.
Jano Slunt.
After this fever, I'll survive.
Then
I know
episode
I'm
4,
acting a bit crazy.
Sir Barrison Selmy. That one got to me.
Hazy.
We don't get anything for a while, actually. Episode 7, Master Aemon goes down, and the old woman Blade. Episode 8, I'm going to argue this, Lord of Bones, White Walker, and Carsey. 9, we lose Sheeran, and then Hizdar Zolarak, which I think that's where the guy gets stabbed in the belly. Episode 10, a lot of people. Celsi, Stannis, Miranda, Marion Trent, Marcella, and then Jon Snow.
Not Johnny Snow.
Not Johnny Boy.
Ice on. Oh wait, no, sorry.
So I wrote down that Lord of Bones dies. Do we agree with that or not?
It's unsubstantiated, but I think that whether or not he dies when Tormund hits him with the stick, he's dead by the end of that episode.
Yeah.
And then the Master Prince guy, Hizdar, I wrote that he was also killed.
Which, yes, is unsubstantiated, but I mean, as of thus far, moving forward to the end of season 7, we never see him. So
All right, well, those are the ones
guess
I wrote
he's
down.
done.
So
that's the big twist. Season 7, Hizdar Zolorak and Zarozo and Doxos come back from the dead, and we're supposed to care.
yeah, just like looking at my death list, I'm like very few episodes. Like nothing happens for me.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, just for Rob and Hans, in the books, Zarozo and Doxos does come back. And he goes to Marine and he tries to like treat with Danny or something. He doesn't die.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
Who's
This is the
Zarozo
black
and
guy from
Das?
Karth.
Oh, okay.
I remember who he
got
is.
it. Got it. I feel like he was probably like we only like heard from him like 3 times in the show, so I didn't really catch his name. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, we heard from him for so long, actually, but I know that we all fell asleep during those episodes in Karth.
Exactly.
So,
He talked a
easy to
lot.
forget. Khaleesi, if you would marry me. He had sounded nothing like that. Zoinks! You guys want to guys want to give out? I know it's a little early here in the recap, but unless you guys have any games or anything you want to play, we can hand out awards.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
Hans, have you ordered the trophies yet?
Yeah, they're
You just-
already.
You're waiting on the plaques.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the plaques. They're good to go.
Then let's figure out whose names we gonna put on those plaques. I've got my 3 as per usual, but as always, guys, if you have ideas for superlatives to dole out, best smile, most musically talented, you do what you got to do.
Best car.
Best car. Oh. Didn't you win best car?
Class
I did.
clown.
I did.
It's a nice little plug there, making sure people remember best car.
Don't ever forget.
Oh, I got most musically talented, if you couldn't tell from the RIP segment. Oh, let's start here.
We went to a pretty small high school.
Yeah, I didn't get shit.
Who in Game of Thrones Season 5 gained the most? Gain of Thrones. That's what we'll call this trophy. Gain of Thrones.
So
We're not talking protein-related muscle mass here.
Right. So when I sent out the trophy, ultimately the trophy goes to the person that we all, that we in unison agree on. But I usually
believe so.
send out like runner-up trophies and stuff, and I've already sent that out to Tyrion Lannister per Jeremy,
for
because
Jeremy.
I know he votes for him every single season for all categories apparently. So I just sent him
He gains
3.
and loses the most in every season.
Whoa. So
I just
you're
sent
saying I
them-
can't vote for him now? Or?
Yeah, no, you can't. I already sent him by
Oh,
you,
okay.
so I'm just assuming that's what your votes are for.
Tyrion's my boy.
I understand that he's your boy. I just don't think you get the category. but I don't mean to be down on you, Jeremy. I think the case could be made for Tyrion in this season. Where it definitely couldn't last season.
Yeah, I think he did pretty good last season, though. I think he had some highs, had some lows. Definitely learned a lot.
He had some lows. Would he be your vote?
No, he wasn't actually my vote.
Okay. Who are you thinking gained so much in season 5 that you're going to have Hans kind of recall the USPS package here?
From the standpoint of the character, John, actually.
John gained the most.
Yeah.
The one who dies at the end.
He dies at the end. But
Just saying.
all right. Okay.
Just putting it out there.
Before that, he
Tyrion's my
does
runner-up.
gain an awful lot,
Yeah.
I suppose. He gains a bunch of people. He gains the distrust of his men. He loses his one. Well, he loses a couple of his friends, and then one of his only other friends leaves him. But other than that,
Loses his love. I mean, like, all those things.
Yeah, he's gained a lot.
well, that's last season.
Was it last season?
Isn't
that
it?
she did? I feel
Yeah,
like this
season
one was
4.
such a boring season that it's
No,
hard
that
to
was-
remember.
Was that this season?
It was season 4.
It was season 4, yeah. It was.
Yeah,
Oh,
season
right,
4,
right,
episode
right,
9,
right,
The
right.
Watcher on the Walls
Yes,
is when
yes, yes,
Ygritte
yes.
dies.
But anyway, no, John gets his army, in my opinion, in this season. And I think that's impressive.
But he's
But
dead.
then he also gets murdered.
Well, again,
We don't know what
Potato,
happens
potato.
in the next 3 episodes, Jeremy. He's dead.
is he dead? He wasn't burned yet.
I think the
Just-
argument for gain the most is I think it's the toughest one right for this season.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm curious because we didn't talk about it yesterday. Did Jenna watch episode 10?
She did, and I also made her rewatch episode 9, the end of episode 9.
Oh shit! What did
Yeah.
she say?
She said so. I made her rewatch it, and I just started at the last 30 minutes, like halfway through, which is where Shireen part starts, and then goes into the whole Daenerys thing, and she basically watched the Shireen part, and she goes, "Why would you make me watch that?" and then she had the same reaction as we all did for the rest of it, and she said, "Why? Like I can't just sit. Why do I care about Daenerys and this stupid stuff right now? Like all I can think about is how terrible that Shireen scene was." So she had a very similar reaction to how just an odd showrun choice to writing choice
Yeah.
to flip to Daenerys and everything at the end there.
No, so what did she think about John?
She knows he just doesn't. She's seen. So when I was watching Game of Thrones as they were coming out new, she was kind of in and out. Like she would sit there while I was watching him. So she knows he's not dead. So she didn't even think that he died in this episode. She didn't. She doesn't.
Gotcha.
She doesn't necessarily know what happens. But
Gotcha. This was one of the things, like, for the longest time, like, even still, I feel like I never got Red Wedding spoilers from any headlines or anything like that. Like, unless you're going out and looking at reading reviews or, you know, shitheads like us who are just not sticking to linear stories. I think for the most part, people are pretty good. You got to be careful online, but people are pretty good about not, like, putting headlines with crazy spoilers in it. But the Jon Snow thing, like, the second he came back, I don't remember if it was the Golden Globes or the Emmys or what, but they did a promo video, and it was like, I think Jimmy Fallon hosting or something. It was this whole song, and one of the bits in the song was like they're dancing like through traffic, and he goes by one of his cars, and it looks in the car, and it's John, Kit Harington, and he's asleep, and it just pans in on him, and he goes, he just jolts alive. And I'm like, oh, that's a huge reveal, and they're just weaving it into pop culture like a month after the fact.
yeah,
It was insane.
I think the Game of Thrones like trailer things now too. I feel like Game of Thrones itself even does a pretty good job of like, you know, not blatantly throwing out stuff in your face, spoiling the next seasons and stuff for people who maybe are going back to watch them or haven't watched them yet. But I mean, John is in the trailers now. They're running on low enough on characters that they can't just completely omit him from the trailers, right? So,
I think that I got to watch. I think around the time when Jon Snow died was when I first started watching them on live TV, where I wasn't catching up anymore. So, I don't think it got spoiled for me. I mean, I think that. In my head, I was just like, this is a magic-ass show. He's coming back to life. The Red Woman's there. He's going to bring her. She's going to bring him back. Like, I had that in my head where I was just like, there's no way that he's gone. He was like, I just think that there was something about the way that they did his death where it wasn't the same as a Robb Stark or a Ned Stark, where you kind of felt like he had to come back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was... I think this next season, too, will be huge for... This will be the one, obviously, that I think you kind of will probably have to watch the day of. Like, if anything major happens, everyone's going to be...
They're going to be on
up in arms about it, yeah. Which I'm looking forward to the hype, actually. Hence this podcast. So, Jeremy, Jon Snow, Rob, Bullock, gained the most.
Ramsay Bolton.
That's my vote as well.
That's my runner-up, actually. So.
Run me down what Ramsay gains here in this season.
Ramsay gains a last name. Mm-hmm. He gains lordship over Winterfell. He gains a wife. He gains a lot.
Gains a little brother.
He gains a little brother. He gains so much in the north in a span of this season that it just makes him a powerhouse and makes him something to be worth, because before it wasn't really anything, and now he is Warden of the North. Oh, wait, that
not quite.
Yeah.
But heir to being Warden of the North. And just because I did point it out for Jeremy, I'll point it out for you as well. He does lose his girlfriend at the end, and his wife and manservant escape into the night.
He doesn't know that in season 10 at the end.
That's true. He's flying high. Yeah.
He was riding in on victory.
It's a good point. Fantastic point, actually. So, also, I don't think we've ever really talked about the fact that, like, the level of fuck it that had to have happened in the Boltons' history when they're, like, looking at all these proud houses, Stark and Winterfell and the Lannisters and Casterly Rock and King's Landing, like all these storied places, and the Tyrells and Highgarden. It sounds so aloof, and then they're just like, we live in the Dreadfort. Just like the most badass name for a castle.
Yeah.
And they're like skinned human beings are their sigil. It's like, who are you fooling? The fact that we trusted these people at all.
In the beginning, yeah.
It's a ridiculous notion.
They were set up to be evil people.
We're just like, oh yeah, those guys, they're with Rob. We love them. Boltons. Hans, who got them sweet gains in season 5?
So, like I said, this one I was having a hard time picking a gained here, but I'll throw a couple out there for discussion and see what you guys think. Maybe you can help me decide. So I had Ramsey in there. I had Ramsey in there just because he does gain a line. Does he actually gain the Bolton name this season, or was that the end of last season?
Let me go back and look.
Not that it makes much difference. I still think he gained, quite a bit here, but
He may actually made at the end of 4, actually. Legitimate.
I'll find out if you want to move on.
yeah, no, I just was curious.
It's season 4, episode 8.
Okay, that's what I thought.
last
'Cause
season.
I thought we had mentioned it in our last bonus episode, but nonetheless, I still think he's a prime candidate for gaining the most here. I would argue that not all, obviously, but the Wildlings gained a good bit coming through the wall, potentially getting some lands.
Fair.
The
Tormund, you could argue him.
Yeah, Tormund.
Sure. The Knight, on the flip side, the Night King gained quite a few over at Hardhome.
Yeah, that's a pretty good vote, actually.
And then I think Sam gained a good bit here.
He got some sweet, sweet ass.
Yeah.
Sam did gain a lot of. he lost a lot too.
Yeah.
Like probably a few teeth.
But it's really all that Sam wanted anyway. So
Yeah.
at this, he gained a good bit.
Oh my!
Gained some good bits, I guess.
And the world's most boring sex scene ever in a show.
No, he nasal flares there. Some good stuff.
Yeah, those are my candidates.
So just to be clear here,
My
unless you
nominations.
want to throw your hat in for Jon Snow, Ramsay would win the popular vote.
Whoa,
think
whoa,
Ramsay-
Whoa. Jon Snow kills it.
I think Ramsey does win. Ramsey wins here. This is the only season I think Ramsey's going to be able to claim that. So
Yeah.
Cheers to Ramsay. On the flip side of that coin, and where Jon Snow's name is on my list,
You guys are fucking weak shit. John just gets stabbed to death in this one. He doesn't lose anything. Fucking be creative, for God's sakes.
who lost the most?
All right,
in
so I have a
season
couple
5?
options as well, you fuckers.
He's not my only name, so go
Okay.
ahead.
So my first one would be Sansa. She has a rough go at it in this season. And
That is
yes,
very
we know
true.
she jumps off. We don't know that she survived that jump, right? Like
It's a very big jump.
It's a big fucking jump. She got raped. It was not cool for her this season.
yeah.
So Sansa's one for me. The other one would be Jorah, actually, for me.
Jorah does lose a fair bit.
You know?
Although, is it not season 4 when he gets kicked out?
But doesn't he try to bring back
I
in
think
this
it's
season?
Yeah, that's this season for sure.
I think it's at the end of season 4 that he does get kicked out, and then
Yeah, but he gets grayscale.
Oh yeah,
and he gets
That
and he
does
gets
happen.
rejected again, and then he
True.
gets rejected again.
But then he gets accepted in a weird way.
Yeah,
I mean, Daenerys isn't there, but he is allowed back into the
But
city.
for all we know, he has a death sentence, right?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
So
He's
fair
had
enough.
he's had a
think
rough
that's a-
season as well.
he has. I will go ahead, only because I made the point in season 4 to throw her name in the ring, saying that I thought that she had kind of hit rock bottom. I was wrong there. I think Cersei probably lost the most in this season. She loses her. Well, I don't even want to get to that first. Obviously, she makes the stupidest plays ever.
Yeah.
She deserves a lot of what she gets because she very visibly set it up. Like a 4-year-old could tell you what's about to happen to Cersei Lannister. She he gets thrown into prison. She has to basically shame herself in front of the entire city. She loses the respect of the court. Her uncle has been appointed as hand and can now basically supersede her. Her power is waning. She's under investigation. There will be a trial to determine her guilt, of which there is plenty. And to top it all off, the one smile we get from Cersei in this season, like this true moment of joy, which is actually, in the next episode, is when Myrcella comes back, and then she finds out that she's dead. But we already know that Myrcella is dead, so we can kind of imply that Cersei has lost her, even though that she doesn't know that. So for me, it's a toss-up between her and Jon.
Really,
the most.
I think those are all good points. My first pick, like my gut reaction, first pick is Stannis.
Oh shit!
I forgot about him. Yeah,
that's a great point. Stannis does lose an awful lot. Again, he deserves it.
Yeah,
he deserves everything he gets and more for the things that he did. But
he
does lose a lot.
I also would say to throw the Red Woman into that, because she loses a lot, because she almost loses her faith, which is almost everything that she is, because her prophecies were wrong.
It's true.
So yes, Stannis did lose that, but she was basically the driving force behind the Stannis Baratheon army. She was manipulating that whole situation, in my opinion. That's how I view it as.
It's a good point.
Yeah, just the whole loss of the daughter and wife, and then
True.
everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not. I just hate Melisandre.
Shit.
So
yeah, Stannis is
a good argument.
It's a good
Stannis and Cersei are, but I mean, I'm still gonna go with mine. Just gotta rock.
So what's our vote for?
Rob.
I think you made the point that. Did you say Rob?
No, Rob.
He's been dead for 3 seasons.
Rob's gotta go.
Rob's got to go. Oh, I think that if I had to choose one just from all the things, I think I probably would say Stannis.
Okay, I would say
that was. I honestly don't even know why I didn't consider it. It's pretty good. I'll go with Stannis.
Yeah.
The thing that makes me sad about Stannis is I think that in this season is when we start to care for Stannis.
I would agree.
Because he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Up until he kills his daughter, he has some really good moments where he's showing being like a competent leader. He's showing wisdom. He's showing a lot of skills, and you end up kind of liking Stannis, which before I'd never really cared for him, but.
It's a very, Stannis is, in the books, an interesting character. He's a main player in the show, and from the political spectrum, from the war, obviously he's a main player. But, in the books, Stannis is not a main character. Stannis exists to tell Davos' story. That's why that's why Stannis is there. You don't get, as far as I'm aware, you don't get chapters from Stannis' perspective.
No.
It's all from Davos' point of view and everything like that. Maybe Melisandre a couple times. Stannis is a less, I won't say less likable, but a less prominent, you don't really have active thoughts about Stannis Baratheon in the book. So the fact that he is all there all the time, and that we do kind of feel for him a little bit in this episode, is cool. I think it's actually better. I like to see that. Again, I hate what he does with with the leash that we give him, but c'est la vie.
Say I love you.
Slachery.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And then for just the last one of our regular categories here, your personal MVP trophy. Who would you give your MVP to for season 5? Rob?
Ooh, personal MVP. I'd like to say MVP would probably be.
You got that MVP?
I think I would have to go with Jon for this one, because he does
Gain the most? You're so right, God.
He doesn't gain the most, but he sacrifices a lot of himself for a lot of things to happen in the future.
Yeah.
As he's gaining so much. Yeah.
Basically, changes the entire, goes against everything the watch stands for to do what he thinks is right. You know?
Yeah.
To build something bigger than himself. Yeah, I know. Totally.
He kills the boy and then is killed by the boy. Irony. Hans?
I think I would go John too. I'm a big fan of Tormund too, but I mean obviously he's kind of a secondary character in that entire bit. But if it wasn't for him, then the wildlings definitely wouldn't have agreed to John's terms and all that stuff too. But I think overall I'd have to pick John.
I also wrote down John. Jeremy?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm
Tyrion.
gonna clearly tell you Tyrion, okay?
I think the case could be made. Tyrion had a good season.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
He
Actually,
did.
it wasn't Tyrion for me. It was John. But it's okay. Let's talk about the Night King. I mean, the Night King is getting, this is a bigger season for him.
Where does the name the Night King come from? Because obviously he never says, like, I'm the Night King. And it's been established that they can't find any books about it, but somehow everyone knows that his name is the Night King starting in the next season. Like, Jon knows it, Bran knows it. I get how Bran knows it, but, how does anyone else know it?
You don't remember that episode where he goes, "It's a me, the Night King."
The only reason I know it is because I was at Target and I saw a Night King pop figure, and I was like, "Oh, that's what that guy's name is."
Now, you guys, after we're done with the full recap, we've got some exciting things planned, one of which I think will be going down some conspiracies, so I don't want to get into it right now. But are you guys aware of the big conspiracy with the Night King?
I am.
I'm
Rob?
not.
About his identity?
Oh, no.
Okay. It's you'll have to stay tuned for 3 more weeks.
And I mean, are we just gonna guess that it's a Targaryen? Is that what it is? Because all of the conspiracy has been about someone being a Targaryen that I know about.
I'll say it now, but we won't get into it. So you'll have to keep steady and tuned in to find out when we talk about it. But the theory is that the Night King is Bran.
Oh.
Or that Bran is the Night King.
Which I have my issues with as far as
Yeah, I don't see
just
it.
how the
Everything.
show works, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big theory.
Just since we're on the topic of superlatives, and since I did say it, and just because I have an answer for it, most musically talented, I'd like to throw it to Braun, because I don't think we've ever recognized Braun for anything.
No.
He
show.
deserves it there. Best jugglies?
Best jugglies? Okay, that's easy. That's that.
Tyene.
Yeah.
Tyene,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I think that's
Best everything.
that's fair. Or that guy at the Cersei's Walk that
Yeah.
he just had. There's something to it's not always just about the best physical jugglies, right? There's something about how the presentation, the whole bit. He had a really good line accompanying it.
And then
His delivery was great.
Delivery was excellent.
In next season, he gets a whole part just for himself.
It had the wow factor, shock
Wait, what?
effect.
You're talking about the guy that flashed Cersei, right?
Yeah.
In the first episode of season 6, he has a part where he's talking in a tavern, telling people on how he showed the queen his.
Oh, it's penis.
What? I just watched this episode. I did not see that.
Maybe it was
remember
season.
that
It was
either.
right before
No way.
Gregor Clegane, the mountain,
Oh,
kills him.
breaks his head.
Yeah, that's the same
Okay,
guy.
so it's not episode 1, but I do remember it.
Okay.
Now. Okay. I got you. That's I forget about this.
So
Mama Lannister suck me up.
so runner up then.
I'd say runner up is great there. Let's just for anyone who forgot all of our juggling moments for season 5. We saw some Hooers in Marine. We got to see Loras and Oliver.
What song do we put in behind this one?
Come, girl, go and get your pussy wet.
She got dumps like a truck. That's like what? Baby, move your butt. I want to see it again.
We get Dario. Keep it going. We got the acceptance prostitutes, the prostitutes in Volantis. We got Melisandre again and her top shelf nipples.
Top shelf.
King's Landing prostitutes. We got to see Miranda. Ramsey Bolton.
Let
his
me
butt.
see that thong.
And then, yes, Tyene, of course, the youngest sand snake.
That thong.
Cersei, and the aptly named Parade Disruptors. Which were probably all three of the parade nudity things were in like the top 5 of the season. Yeah. Like there's the woman who just like does the whole like rotate flasher badge thing. Like, you gotta love that.
Classic flasher
I've had more.
So yeah. So any other superlatives, guys? Awards that you'd like to give out to actors, to characters, to what have you?
I just, while we're on the topic, just again, I don't know if it's within the scope of this podcast, but deserved nonetheless. I want to throw a award out to Cisco. What a phenomenal song.
Yeah.
Excellent music video, too.
Shout out to Cisco.
One of my favorite memes of all times is when it says, it's like, Jesus walked on water or something, but Cisco walked on bitches.
Have you guys seen the classic underrated comedy movie? I'm just crying. That's funny. Have you seen the classic underrated 2000s comedy movie Undercover Brother?
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
My favorite part is when Eddie Griffin's character is undercover in that, and he's talking to what's her name? Charlie Sheen's ex-wife. Denise Richards.
Yes.
He's talking to Denise Richards, and he's like, "Honey, is this Michael Bolton's version of that thong song?" And she comes out, and she's like, "Yeah, I hear he got all the funk that Cisco missed." Quality film if you haven't seen it. Great cast: Eddie Griffin, Dave Chappelle.
Holy crap.
Neil Patrick Harris.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
That was right around the time when Neil Patrick Harris was getting hot again for all these random movies he was in. Right?
I think it was before. It was I think it was even pre Harold and Kumar.
Really? Oh, I thought that was right around the same time. Okay.
It wasn't too far off, but yeah, it was definitely before like.
It was for How I Met Your Mother and all that stuff started.
Oh yeah, miles before How I Met Your Mother. Which, by the way, I think somewhat recently we were talking about like best comedies and stuff. I know we were talking about The Office and Parks and Rec. The fact that we did not shout out How I Met Your Mother is a travesty.
It is. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Fantastic show.
I have an award to give Stannis Baratheon.
Okay. So wait, you're picking the winner before you even announce the
Yeah,
award?
I don't think there was.
The Stannis Baratheon Award.
This is the Stannis Baratheon Award.
The lifetime
from now on into the future.
Okay. Who would you like to award the Stannis Baratheon Award?
Tyrion. Yeah.
Yes.
I totally agree. Funny you bring it up.
What is the award, Rob?
Best grammar Nazi
Oh.
in Westeros.
Rob texts me. He's like, please tell me that you guys said something about the grammar Nazi thing, which I think happens twice, if not in this season. Like it happens twice with Stannis, and we've never brought it up before.
Yeah, there was a scene. The one that I noticed is it was a scene at Castle Black. Jon's talking, and then someone interrupts Jon and says something. I forget. I even forget what it was, but he corrects their grammar under his breath, and Davos turns to him and goes, "What?" And he's like, "Nothing."
It's like something about like we've got 50 less brothers guarding the wall.
Oh,
and
50
goes,
fewer.
Fewer.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even remember that. Was there? And there was another moment too.
Yeah, there was an earlier one where I think it might have been earlier than the season either, where he had like a similar moment, but he said it to somebody like in conversation. Someone said something, and he said, "I think it was still the less fewer thing," and they go, "What? Huh?" He's like, "Don't what? Continue." So, Stan is the grammar Nazi. So is that supposed to say something like people who correct other people's grammar deserve the same fate as people who burn their daughters alive? Like,
That's all I'm interpreting as.
David and Dan have hatred against the grammar Nazis? I don't know. Any other accolades to hand out? This is a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one. What about flipping it for best scone of the season?
Okay, so just to
Gotta
run
stay
down,
50%.
we do. The scones that we enjoyed in season 5 were Jeremy's chocolate chip scone, my blueberry lemon, Hans's mango, which I think had some weird other words associated with it, Jeremy's cranberry, my strawberry raspberry, Hans's homemade mini zucchini cheddar, Jeremy's white chocolate raspberry, my maple pumpkin, Hans's red. All I wrote was RPF. Red pepper feta, and Jeremy's lemon to round things out.
So out of all of mine, I would say if you were to rank them, it would definitely be the white chocolate raspberry and then the lemon one I just had were my top 2.
With that curd.
That curd, oh my god.
As Hans and I discussed, Rob, if you can pull up our Instagram, because I would like you to vote on which one of these was the best as well. But I know that you don't have the taste buds to vote on this as well.
I'm going on a visual.
On a visual thing for the last 10.
Which means Jeremy's won't win.
He had the one. You had that one nice DSLR photo.
Yeah, what was wrong with the one with the
I mean, it was
the
a little.
cranberry.
I don't know if it was out of focus or if like you uploaded it and the quality went down.
No. When I uploaded it looked,
Yeah.
and I was pissed off because it was gorgeous.
But it still looked good. Yeah. What was so Hans? What was your favorite?
Oh, here I'll show you my lemon one too. Hold on, I'll pull that up too.
My favorite, I really enjoyed I very much enjoyed the mini zucchini cheddar scones. I thought
Kiss
they were
ass.
excellent. And then the mango whole wheat or buttermilk whole wheat wango.
Wango Unchained.
the whole wheat buttermilk mango or whatever was also very, very good. I do have a least favorite, but I can if we all want to go through our best, maybe our tops first.
I think
Round off to the
I think the
Mine-
one that I like the most is the one that looks kind of like a bloody turd. The cranberry one.
Yeah, well, I was like, that's my
Jeremy's,
cranberry.
That
That's
was
Jeremy's.
Boom, killed it. Fuck everyone else.
There is a little bit of turdness to it. Yeah, I see that.
It was like a moist.
It's a good picture. It's a very good picture.
It was like a moist dropping, is what it was.
Did you guys ever make the things in elementary school? We called ours like old foamy, but maybe you called yours something else. It's like a science experiment where you put these things in a cup and they like foam over and they get really hard. And so it just makes like styrofoam or something. But it's got this very like specific like glossy look to it. And Jeremy's chocolate chip scone looks a lot like that.
God, I gotta pull that up now.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that.
Actually, I think the best Instagram, of course, is Rob, your friend, coming through with that meme.
Oh yeah, winter's gone.
Winter's gone.
That was great.
Just about 2 weeks after the holiday, but
Yeah.
still, did our best.
We'll post it again next year. We'll try to get it to
There you
be
go.
timely.
Except then, Game of Thrones will be done.
Yeah, it's fine.
But we'll have the 5 or 6 spin-offs at that point,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it still works. My favorite was the maple pumpkin. Again, kiss ass, but I'm kissing my own ass, so it's okay.
Yeah. And then
What
once-
was your least?
And just a quick plug. Once there's the 5 or 6 spin-offs, We've actually already talked about it. We're going to be going to 2 episodes a day, 7 days a week.
We're gonna be doubling down on the length as well. Really getting a couple hours in each ep.
Yep. Really going to each minute of the episode.
Yeah, and with our 18 average viewers, I think we have enough sustainable income for me to quit my job and edit full time.
For sure.
Yep, congratulations.
Yeah, the biggest complaints that we get is that Jeremy just talks about scones too long, and we don't have a 50-50 balance for Thrones. So we're just gonna, let Jeremy talk about how much he's talking about now, which is ridiculous, and then we'll just add more Thrones. I think.
Yeah, to balance it out.
To get that 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ooh. What was your least favorite scone, Hans?
My least favorite was surprisingly the red pepper feta.
I'm not surprised at that at all.
That was mine as well, interestingly enough.
It was mine as well, because the idea of it shouldn't have ever allowed it to exist.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
I actually didn't. It's probably fine, but the other thing that happened is I had bought it quite a bit earlier before I needed it, and I just, the way things worked, I was getting other scones, we had other stuff. I just didn't get around to eat. The savory ones are harder for me to get around to eat because a lot of times I'm eating them more as a dessert thing here and there, or kind of an add-on to something else. And then it's a lot of times if I don't want, there's few times when I really crave a savory scone. So it took me a while to get to it. And according to Google, I ate it well past expiration date. So
I thought they lasted forever.
It's debatable. That's why I was 3 days forever. So 10 days is probably safe then, right? It's in the middle. Maybe if it was fresh, who knows? Maybe it's phenomenal.
I'd have to imagine that feta cheese probably goes off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, what's been your favorite scone you've had all year for us?
Whew, are we ready to go into this?
Shit. Whew. A top tier thus far.
Yeah, we're kind of halfway through our review, right? So I mean, I think it's at the 50-way mark. What do you want to feel?
Love.
So again, we're kind of working ahead here. I got to remember which ones I have and haven't actually done on the show.
I'll just tell you mine then, because clearly you're not prepared for my question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, do you remember that debacle blueberry that looked like the worst scone ever? It looked moldy almost.
Oh yeah, the science class poop.
Oh my god, that is the best blueberry scone I've ever had.
It's because it looks like a muffin.
It didn't look like a muffin. It looked like
Muffins are
someone
great.
shat blueberries.
Yeah, but I mean, texturally, it looks like it's very moist, like a muffin.
It was super.
And of course, that's gonna
moist.
be great.
It was wet inside.
I think my best one, my best
fossilized turd.
You can taste the history. I think my best one of the ones that I've had so far is the carrot cake ones.
Oh, that sounds great.
Those were great.
Marvs.
Hans?
Right.
Hey, the cone of shame is gone.
She
On Hans's cat.
It's not supposed to be gone. She just must have gotten it off somehow.
Pissed
Hang on. I'm looking at the Instagram right now.
My favorite. Yeah, Rob. So from the Instagram, what's the best? What gets the best accolade thus far? I think if we're giving a best, it's got to go to the raspberry coconut one that looks like an actual shit.
Isn't that Hans's?
No, it's yours, of course.
There's a blueberry one that looks like an actual shit.
The blueberry.
Is that the one that's named Blueberry?
Yeah, that's
God, yes, that was disgusting.
Raspberry coconut. Yeah, that's
that was
You
like
can
a
follow along with us at Thrones and Scones.
Okay,
on
no,
Instagram.
let's be honest. Doesn't that actually look more like a
It looks like bread. It doesn't look
like
a
a meatball almost, like a
Yes,
meatball
it's got
with
meatball
breadcrumbs?
qualities to it. With panko on top of it. Yeah.
Oh god, that shit was disgusting. I was all excited about that one.
Oh, my favorite, no doubt. Another total suck up moment here, but it's true. Mine was the banana bread scones.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be. How is that not just a common scone flavor? That was So good.
I think that was the first scone that was made that was eaten on this show.
I think that is very.
I mean, they were all made, but I mean, like by one of us, and by one of us, I mean Jenna.
Yeah, I think so. And those suckers were good.
I think the one I like the most is the dire wolf.
Goddamn
think
right
that-
you do.
I think that's pretty cool that was remade.
That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
That was one, like when I was eating, I was like, this is all right. I've craved it like 3 or 4 times, and I've thought about making them again because they're weirdly specific, but they're pretty tasty. Oh, I ate
I'm
all
gonna
of
make
those.
I'm gonna make an apple pie scone. I found a recipe today for it.
Yes. Oh, that sounds really good. Actually.
Yeah,
think my next-
it looks amazing. So I'm gonna definitely pull that one this week.
I think my next one is going to be something with pear. I've been trying to think of something to do with pear.
Oh, like a pear tart would be good.
Something like that. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Rob Bullock. Rob's your uncle, please.
So far through all of the episodes or all of the podcast, which of you think spent the most on baking scones and buying scones?
Ooh.
Well, Jeremy's had so many scones, but he's also been given so many scones.
Yeah. So if we were talking spending, I probably would win because you guys have. I haven't baked a single scone.
But baking them is almost more expensive.
That's what I was
because
kinda
you spend
thinking.
I spent $30 at the store the other day, and I bought stuff to make 2 batches of scones. I bought a couple other things as well.
No,
but you
no,
gotta
no.
think, like, even though I'm making like 30 scones, I'm only getting 2 pictures out of that. So
Well,
that's
the
like
other thing is-
$15 per scone.
Yeah, but when I go to a bakery and I'm buying scones, I'm also buying other shit at the bakery because
That's your fault.
Why do you have such a large bakery budget?
Well, because bakeries are delicious. Who doesn't have a large bakery budget? Yes, I would say that it looks like Tony has clearly made more scones than any of us, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think judging by the Instagram quite yet, but I've got like 3 on the docket coming up real quick. But
That's what I
yeah.
figured that the actual making of them is a little bit more bit
Pricey?
more pricey than
I mean, per scone, I'm sure they're cheaper, but like,
Yeah.
I don't get I make 8 scones. I don't get to count them 8 times, which is a bummer.
and then you have to eat a bunch of scones.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but it's worth it, right? Haven't you had a new appreciation for how great scones are?
So you messed up, Rob. I mean, just like we're messing up right now, we're not actually. I know this is going to shock the world. We're not in the same room right now. What? We live in separate states. And so we don't meet up each and every day to do this. But Rob, when you and Tyler had me on the show, that was the case as well. We were not in the same room.
Yeah.
I was just on another friend's podcast who will be featured here coming up, Damage Control Podcasting. You check that out. And we were in the same room, and so I did the same thing where I admonished them for not having a baked good related component of their show. But I brought scones to like help curb that attitude, and so I was able to get rid of a bunch of scones without just eating 9 of them in one day. I literally go through, like, I use this Fitbit app to track my calories to try and be healthy, and it's like, all right, like, 1,800, 2,200, like, and it's all like my exercise output is good, and then there's just one day massively red in the middle that's like 4,000 calories.
They're like,
And it
bro,
was
you
like,
need to cut back on the scone. Fitbit's coming after you.
It was rough, but it was just one of those days where it's like I get on and I'm like, oh, I ate so many scones. There's no way I can recover from this day, so I might as well get Chinese for lunch. Just ruin it even more. Oh my god. Oh, circling back here. I mean, before we kind of lose all train of sensibility from Game of Thrones, we do have to give our official rankings of things in where season 5 falls. I'll go ahead and give you. This is going to be tough because we are all diverging at this point. Rob, the last time you joined us was the season 3 recap, and your voting was for 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
You were in line with Hans and I there. Season 3, the best, then 1, then 2. So you'll have to find a ranking for 4 and 5. And then for the rest of us, Jeremy, you went 3, 4, 2, 1. Hans went 3, 1, 4, 2. And I went 3, 4, 1, 2. Again, you are not beholden to the rankings that you have given previously. If things have changed, you are welcome to make those changes. But does anybody have the order of operations that they would like to assign to the seasons? Or you can take a moment to think, and through the power of editing, we can reconvene.
So I already know. I wrote down my. So I would do 3, 4, 5, 2, 1.
Wow.
Okay. 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. And so are you changing anything? From
No, sorry.
your order?
It's 4, 3, 5. My bad. 4, 3.
4, number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. 4, 3, 5, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are... I'm going through like 9 pages in my notebook right now. Where the hell is this? Okay, so you're changing things. You're moving 4
Yep.
above 3.
Yep.
And then sticking 5 there in the middle. Okay.
Yep.
Hans? Were you pondering still?
Yeah, if anyone else
Ponder
has
away.
theirs, go for it.
I will go. Yeah, season 3. Season 3 is the best one, I think, by a good old country mile. I'm reminding myself now. Oh God, 4 is so good. I will keep 4 after season 3. Then season 1, season 2, season 5.
Mm-hmm.
So 3, 4, 1, 2, 5.
Yeah. Mine is still similar, but it's going to be 3, 1, 4, 2, 5.
Okay.
Just because season 5 as a whole is pretty rough. But dang, those last I'm having a hard time though because the last 3 episodes of season 5 are just so good. I think those episodes may be better than any episodes in season 2.
Had they just come out with a 3-episode season, I still might have put it above season 2.
Yeah. So I mean, I could even be like I said, maybe in the bonus episodes to come, maybe I'll flip those 2. And I think 1 and 4 are kind of are 50-50 for me too. I could flip those on any given day.
Yeah.
Be happy with my list, but my list as it stands today, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5.
Rob.
So, I had the same debacle of, 5 has its good moments. And where I think that 2 and 1, I still think are a little bit weaker when it comes down to...
Totally agree.
Comes down to beating 5. So I'm putting 3, 4, 5, 1, 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jeremy, my big thing with you is not the fact that season 5 is third on your list. It's that season 2 is ahead of season 1.
Oh, see, I didn't like season 1.
Okay, so we are
And that's the end of the conversation.
Nothing to say.
nothing
Not
to
worth responding to.
say. We are all differing in opinion, which is now, I mean, you can do the probability on this. Of course, this was bound to happen. But so we are all of a different persuasion. If you have similar votes or different ones, you can pretend it's 1998 and email us, thronesandscones@gmail.com. As always, if you have any superlatives and stuff that you'd like us to look out for the next season. And by the way, if you're more tech savvy, if you're more hip with the youths, you can tweet us. You can get us on Facebook. You can DM. You can slide into our DMs on Instagram. And if you include a picture of nudity, doesn't even have to be yours. It's probably more guaranteed that we're going to find it. I say we're going to find it like we have to weed through thousands of emails.
Which we do.
Which we do.
Tens of thousands.
My favorite thing was when on And Rob's Your Uncle, which is, of course, a podcast that everyone should be listening to. I think the episode before you guys, we did that little collab. I had called in to request some advice from you guys, and Tyler presented it like, "Oh, hey, Rob, we got a call from somebody who wasn't Ian. And you just went, what the fuck? like this number that you give out every week.
I was genuinely surprised.
Do you guys you don't take the calls live on air though, right?
No. They're like
pre-recorded.
So basically we have an answering machine and then we play that over
I hope to God it's an actual cassette answering machine.
No.
It's a dedicated answering machine.
And it's got one of those great recordings that's like a parody of a pop song from the 2000s.
Right. Or Looney Tunes.
No, that's actually, I mean, we've said that we've been needed to record an actual message for it, but as of right now, it's just like, the Google Voice number that you've reached is unavailable. Please leave a message.
I remember, like, we used to do that all the time. My family and stuff, when I was kids, we'd make funny answering machines. Mm-hmm. I've never heard one. Like, there was always the trope of somebody in your family or your friend always had that one that was, like, pretending to answer the phone.
Hello?
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, how's it going, man?
Oh, my God, I hated those people. I remember we had one that was like, I think we're not home now. And then it went through, but that was like it was a good verse and chorus of an answering machine. Maybe I should get back on that.
For the longest time, Hans and Tony, you might know him, my friend Nicholas.
Nick Balabushka?
Yes.
Balabushka.
He had the answering machine on his phone because you couldn't text him because there was no way he was, even though he was a 16-year-old kid, he acted like an old man. And
like John.
Yeah. So you couldn't get a hold of him by text message, so you had to call him, which he also would never answer. But his answering machine he messed up doing it. So for the longest time, it was just like random noises, like him hitting the phone and just like, hello, what is this? How do I do this?
That's awesome. I remember I had like, this was after college, and it was just like, you got to the point where when you got a new phone, like they started just carrying over. Everything was linked to your account, so you didn't have to make one with a new phone.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go reset up your voicemail, so I just never thought of it. And then it was like, I had a job already, but I had applied to like a bunch of jobs out of college, and like 6 months afterwards, I just happened to go in, and I'm like, I wonder what my voicemail sounds like. And it was like, yo,
It's your boy Tony.
It's Tony. I was like, oh shit, maybe I could be making a lot more money right now. I don't know. So I changed it. Now it's lame. I still had to make it me. You've got the option. The ones that are just like, we're sorry, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 5, 5. It's not available. Like, just say, hi, it's me, a lame adult. Leave your name. You know what to do. Like, do something.
I feel
some effort
personally
into it.
attacked right now because that's what mine is.
I was going to say, I
As you
literally felt
should.
like you're speaking to my soul because I hate voicemail. Actually, one of my favorite attendings, his voicemail was, I am not going to return your phone call. I'm not going to listen to this message because I don't listen to voicemails. And his voicemail box was full, of course, because people left messages and he just never checked
Sure.
them. You know, text me, essentially, is what his voicemail ended up saying. So,
Jeremy, the person who calls people out of the blue at 4 p.m, doesn't like voicemails?
no.
Surprising.
I like talking to people. I'm sorry, that's just my generation. I get that, but
I respect that because it's so much easier to get things done.
Right.
But you're the
Much
only
quicker.
person in my contact list that does it. Like, even my mom is like, can you talk? So the fact that I'm like at the gym and I'm like, wait, what? Like, my first go-to instinct is someo's dead. If my phone rings. And it's like,
Tony's confident that Jeremy's calling to say Hans is dead.
Hans is dead.
And the prime suspect is Tony Jones.
So he's thinking about how he's going to murder me
yeah,
to cover it up.
I'm always on my guard. I was listening back to these episodes whilst editing. I sound a little paranoid.
Just a little bit.
Just a skosh paranoid, maybe.
Yeah. Speaking of, Tony, so we've talked about these incidents where at apparently all times you're prepared for battle.
Yeah.
And you've thought it through. So just as a little test here, what happens right now with how your apartment is set up, with where you're sitting? What happens if someone zip lines through that window behind you, shatters it, with obviously a katana, ninja weapon, ready to take you out?
Right.
How are you getting out of this one?
Thank you for asking. First of all, this is actually 2 windows. It's 2 back-to-back windows. So they would have to have some good momentum. Like, they're going to hurt going through these 2 windows, which is so unnecessary, but for some reason it exists. I didn't build the building.
So you open up one and then you have to open up another?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
It's and there's no screen. And the windows are so big, so I can't actually open the windows because my cat would escape. And my kitchen doesn't have any vents. So sometimes I'll cook and then I'll just mustard gas myself basically in my apartment for the next day. It's really rough. But thank you for asking. It's a great question. You will notice, I'm just going to take this mic with me here. You will notice that back here, I do have my lightsaber.
Of course.
But if they're coming through the window, I would have to, I'd have to go towards them to get to it. And so that's not a great option. So as I'm sitting here talking to you, I do have this pen. Perfect for right into the trachea. I also have this nice empty, could have thrown it away because it's been gone for a long time, but it's just right here, this nice glass kombucha bottle. So I think obviously my play is they zip line through the window, break it, okay, kombucha bottle, backwards right to the noggin as I run into the corner and grab my didgeridoo, which is it just looks like a nice little decorative piece, but makes a very nice effective little bow staff if I want to get some moves in here.
Of course.
Especially with that katana, you're gonna want some nice little
especially with your background of bow staff training.
So much both.
For those at home, Tony just grabbed his didgeridoo and started attacking his window.
Demonstrated some moves, which I will say I'm actually quite impressed. I was making jokes, but he had some moves there. It's
and then of course,
it's almost like he had prepared for this moment.
Trained.
It's because I have. And then of course, as they're laying bleeding on the ground, you can serenade them a little bit. To ease them into the afterlife.
I love the visual representation that all these listeners are getting right now, noting that right behind you is a lightsaber. To your right is a didgeridoo.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, where does this man live?
obviously.
I'm a little disappointed that so far Thrones and Scones doesn't have a theme song, but you've had a didgeridoo 5 feet away from you this whole time. Why haven't we gotten some sick didgeridoo beats on the podcast?
It's a great point. Actually, it's because there's supposed to be like wax on the end of this that like acts as a nice little mouthpiece, a little, to build that friction. And I've done so much bow staff training with the didgeridoo that I've knocked all the wax off. So it's not in prime playing condition right now. I've cracked the bottom as well, which is unfortunate. This was $300. You should not give 12-year-old me money in a foreign country.
Wow.
That's awesome.
No, it's not awesome.
Tony
So did
didn't
you-
find out that it was a
wood.
didgeridoo
So you
until
brought
years
that
later.
back from on a plane?
No, it was shipped to me.
Oh.
And it took like 6 months to arrive. We thought we got gypped for a long time. Here it is. And now it defends me, so money well spent. I just
There
killed
you
that guy. I'm just saying, you guys. Rob got a window behind him as well. Rob, what do you do? Someone breaks in.
Well, to my right
Sorry, you're dead.
is a
Too
door.
late.
To my left is a dead end. But I do have a sonic screwdriver
Ooh.
here with me.
Ooh.
So maybe that can do something. Also a couple beer bottles. I have...
You
Unfortunately,
say maybe that could
your
do something.
attacker
What is
made
this
of
sonic
wood,
screwdriver
so-
doing?
Oh, what doesn't it do?
yeah, it's a sonic screwdriver. It does a lot of things. It lights up. It does this motion.
Oh shit! I'm kind of wondering what you're using that for right now, Rob. Why is that right next to you in your in what I presume is your bedroom?
Well, my whole apartment is one room, so yes, it is
Okay.
my bedroom.
Sure.
And my office and living room, kitchen, bathroom.
That's just
In
efficient.
your sex dungeon, apparently.
And my sex dungeon. I do have a pair of Psy I'd have to get up from to get, which would be a big pain in the butt. I'd knock my...
A pair of Psy.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, as you do.
This is going to make a popping noise, but I'll grab them.
Which I was never a big fan. Which Ninja Turtle is it that has the Psy?
Raphael.
Is it?
Yeah. Leonardo, sword. Donatello, bow. Raphael, sai. Michelangelo, nunchuck.
Okay.
Laying it down for you in case you didn't know your Ninja Turtles.
I appreciate it. I don't really. I
Yeah,
could
I
only
really
tell you
don't.
that Mikey is the orange one. I don't even know the colors of the other ones.
So I have Psy.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Are they
sorry,
sharp?
That's going to be loud. No, they are blunt. But
Doesn't.
they're meant to be like practice ones. But
Oh shit! You got a nice little flourish going on.
yeah.
So Rob is in fact prepared for this ninja break.
Rob has a real weapon. Oh, I do have a knife right next to me too. I always have a knife.
And a gun. Forgot about
Oh, I
that.
forgot about my gun.
Anyway, yeah. Well, I'm just happy to know you guys are safe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
And Hans also has a plan, and it's if someone were to break through the window behind him, Jenna is usually between the window and him, so he just runs.
Yep.
Doesn't have
She
to
should-
run faster than the
Yeah, she should slow anybody down. So give me plenty of time to escape.
And then Jeremy, there's just a solid wall behind you, so I assume you're just in a 4 foot by 4 foot empty room with no doors or windows.
Safe room.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's a nice little panic room, padded.
It's pretty
Anyone
nice.
else? Do you guys have anything else about season 5? I know it's it's been a nonsensical episode, but as most of our rundowns will attest, it was not a great season. Except for those beautiful episodes at the end, it was just a slog to get through.
Can I say one, maybe two things about the next season since I might not be back on there for that?
You may.
Is it all right?
Well, I guess we should take it to committee.
It's just on. It's literally just on like the first two episodes of season 6.
I'm pro.
Hans
Pro.
will allow it. Jeremy.
Yeah, of course. Just, I mean, we
Perfect.
can kind of just denote spoilers ahead. There. Done.
Why is there a door under the tree? Everything else is a fucking pit in the ground that they're living in, and then there's just a random door. Did they shoehorn a door into the show to name Hodor?
It's a great point.
Because they're past the books now, aren't they? At that point,
They are. Yes. Maybe.
because the door wasn't there when they first arrived.
Well, but they came out on the other side of the tree, which is on a hill. So
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's the.
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But still, it seems like
Seems a
like
little
a
weird
reach.
that there's a
Yeah.
door.
it is a little odd. You are correct. Good point.
And then the other thing is when the red woman takes off her necklace, she's taken off her necklace before in the past.
No.
Yes, she has. There's an episode where she's taking a bath where she asks Stannis' wife to grab her that vial. She's taking a bath and doesn't have the necklace on.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive.
I'm gonna look it up
I'm gonna
because I
have to look
think
it
you're
up.
wrong.
Yeah. Which one was it? I'll pull it up right now.
I don't remember.
It was probably season 3.
Okay. I'll look it up on Google first, and then I'll find it.
Beth. Oh, actually, okay, so never mind. It's a Google search autofill. Melisandre Bath no necklace plot hole.
Yeah.
You're right. She is not wearing her necklace there.
I noticed when I was watching it the first time, but I was
Great point.
I wasn't sure where I was going to end up when we got to that point in the show, and I was just like, I've got to bring this up at some point once we kind of know that it's about to happen.
Season 4, episode 7, by the way, is when that happens.
Yeah.
Redditors are on the case. This is from HelloGiggles.com. Redditors are on the case, coming up with theories on why Melisandre wasn't wearing that choker in the tub, and what really allows her to change form. One Redditor says the necklace was only taken off for dramatic reason, but more powerful magic is causing the illusion. Another one points out that Melisandre probably did transform because Selyse acts strangely and can't look at her. But we see her, so that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, we see her the whole time, pretty much. She only transformed for a few seconds, and then go.
Lastly, if you remember that very scene, Melisandre pours something into her bathtub, and it does not look like bubble bath, and looks very relieved as soon as she hastily shakes that in. So maybe that makes her...
Maybe it's like a source of the power or whatever.
Youthlet. Actually, the actual Reddit comment makes it even better. She sprinkles something in her bathwater as well, which could be another item she uses. It said Sea Star used to bathe in virgin's blood to maintain her youth. Why not Melisandre? Rob, again, with the... I was starting to think you weren't going to bring that top-tier level of deduction, but here you are, a better detective than Catelyn Stark. Well done.
I'm doing finger guns for everyone to...
This has been a very visual episode.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that.
Well, guys, I would like to wrap up this, maybe our longest episode thus far, with a question. And that question is for Rob today. Rob.
Oh, boy.
Do you remember the slope formula?
The slope formula?
If you wanted to figure out the slope of something, what is the equation that you would use to discern such an answer?
I have no fucking clue.
Disappointed.
Why would I know this? What is this?
It's obviously y equals mx plus b, but the secondary question for today is, are you down with GOT? You know me. If I'm honest, the last couple episodes that we've been recording, I've been cutting it close, like watching the episode in a couple instances, like moments before we record it.
During.
Almost during at some points, because this goddamn Umbrella Academy show has taken all of my time. I haven't been able to, I've fallen off on my podcasts. I've fallen off on fucking Game of Thrones. Anything else. The little free time that I seem to have had this past week, which unfortunately was not a lot, is just me trying to fit in episodes of Umbrella Academy and then trying to sleep and not binge the whole season. It's great if you guys haven't watched it yet.
Did you read the comic?
No, didn't. I don't comic.
I watched it. I thought it was very good.
It was interesting.
I still want to. I've read the comic. I haven't seen the show.
So Jenna's watched it, and I tried watching it, and I don't know. It's just I think I had a busy week and stuff, so I wasn't really able to sit down and watch. So I saw first couple minutes of the first episode. I saw maybe a couple more minutes of just a random middle episode, and then I saw the very end without knowing who any of these characters are or what's happening.
Okay.
So it's kind of unfortunately probably ruined for me now. It seemed good.
Yeah. That's how I watched Get Out when it came out. I went over to I remember what my story was. I went over to a friend's house. We were not planning to watch Get Out. We were just planning to get drunk, and that's what we did. And then they're like, oh my God, have you seen Get Out? And I was like, no, we have to watch it. And so, problem is, when I get drunk and then we sit down,
you're out.
I'm on the clock. I'm about to be asleep. And so I watched the first 20 minutes of Get Out and then woke up at like the climax of the movie and went, wait, how did we, what? And then saw the end and was like, okay. And so I forced myself to watch it again down the road, but it lost a lot.
Yeah.
Just because I knew where it was going, which was a very weird spot. But so last night I was out of town hanging out with some friends, and I have apparently not been drinking much lately. Try not to drink at all with this weight loss challenge and whatnot, and it's been going okay. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess at this point, 2 days ago, I had 6 beers in 5 hours. I was trashed. And I was like, I had just eaten. Like, I was very much, it wasn't empty stomach situation. I was trashed. I was like very, very drunk. Okay, fine. Went to bed, woke up, and I get like my hangovers are like just my body doesn't want to do anything. Like, it's just, I'm kind of sore and stiff, but it's like a mental grogginess thing. That's what I get. But this was like classic sitcom like splitting headache, ringing in the ears. Just had to like knock down freaking over-the-counter meds and everything. And I was at my friend's house. She was not there. I was just crashing on her house while she stayed with a girlfriend. And so I'm like trying to find her drugs, like, to take her Advil, and then like looking for anything that I can eat. Only once in my life have I ever had the hang-up throw up, or the hangover throw up, rather, where it's like I'm not drunk and I'm not sick, but I'm so hungover that I puke, and I did that.
Yikes.
So apparently 6 beers is all it takes, guys.
Over a span of 5 hours.
Over the span of 5 hours.
6 Miller Lights, or what did you have?
I was mixing. Maybe that was the problem. Oh, it was mostly Blue Moon.
It sounds like a red wine hangover to me.
It did. It felt like the headache, especially.
Yeah,
It felt like a
exactly.
wine hangover. But no, it's like normally, as long as I stick to beer, I won't be hungover. Period. And this was like the worst hangover of my life this morning. It was terrible.
Yikes. So
that
no more
was
than 1.2 beers per hour for Tony.
That's the danger zone. I don't know if I've de-aged, if I'm like now like have the tolerance of a teenager again, or if this is like old man tolerance, and this is just what I have to look forward to for the remainder of my life.
Yeah, I think if you take
Place your
big
bets.
breaks, though, you do have to like recoup.
Yeah, if you take big breaks, you do get like that. At one of my last jobs, we got to drink after work because it was just a small restaurant and stuff.
Nice.
Man, we just would hammer them after work, and I was drinking 6 beers a day, and like just right after work and in a 2-hour period while we were cleaning up.
So you're gonna drive the school bus of kids home.
Yeah.
Go to my second job.
Just such a, and it's normally like the if I get, I don't know what kind of drunks you guys are. I'm again a tired drunk. There is a very weird instance in where that I can be like the weird touchy-feely drunk, but it's typically only for a very short amount of time, and I have to be drinking liquor because I have to get really drunk really quickly because then I'll just get sick. So it's like that period before I get sick that I'll be like all lovey-dovey. But I was 100% there yesterday, where I was like touching people's faces and shit. It was a weird day. You guys want to hang out with me?
I'm impressed at the hangover puke. It doesn't have that one. That's rare.
Yeah, I've only
It
had
is
that
rare.
twice
Actually, the
in my
only other
life.
time, the only other time it's happened was with Yuhan. So you should feel.
Oh,
You
really?
should feel honored.
Honored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that good old little house party?
Yeah. Very, very respectable 8 people house parties. Yeah. All dudes.
All dudes.
Sounds like the best.
Touched my first boob at one of those house parties.
Funniest part is that house party was all
All
dudes.
dudes. I remember Hans once. I showed up and Hans is like, it's like, oh, I came up with this great drink or whatever. You got to try it. And in retrospect, it's literally just all liquor. Like you just put a bunch of liquors together, like a Long Island, but with no mixer. And we were all like, yeah, this is incredible. Like you're a mixologist.
You're a genius, Hans.
Oh, and then one my favorite one was some New Year's Eve where there was like this commercial for there's like phone dating services where you call into people's dating profiles or something. And for New Year's, they were all like doing like free 24-hour trials. And so we invented all of these characters, and then we called these people up and just left them awful messages, like this. I don't remember all of them, but my favorite one was like this guy. We were like, "Oh, yo, ma, like, I got them goods down below. Like, I'm working with what you need. I'm talking a solid 2.5 inches."
When were you celebrating New Year's 2000?
It felt like it. Maybe we weren't watching TV. Maybe we were watching like a recorded video or something from a long time ago, now that I think about it. But the discount code still worked, so that's what
good.
counts. And
Good
of course
to know
we
that
used
that's
somebody
still
else's
active.
phone, just in case we got charged for it. Who's to say? I want to check with Kyle Brown about that. Maybe he's still paying for those subscriptions.
He never canceled his subscription.
Was Miss Cleo still around, or no?
Who?
Miss Cleo, you know, the whole psychic medium person.
Oh,
Remember, you could dial her number.
yeah.
I think that was like early 2000s. Maybe that was 90s. I have no idea. I feel like that's earlier, but maybe not.
Maybe it's still a thing.
Probably.
People still want. I have a feeling that people who like believe in psychics heavily, apologize if any of you are one of those people, are the people who would give people money over the phone.
I was just were we talking about this? Or was someone? I feel like I was talking about this with someone recently, just talking about like all the psychics on shows and stuff. And
It's bullshit.
there are some really funny videos of like all these famous psychics. And then just people like ripping them apart because they'll take a picture and it'll be like a picture of a little girl, and the psychic will be like, oh, you know, I'm so sorry, I'm actually speaking with her now, and she's dead and all that stuff. And the host of the show will be like, this is me as a little girl.
Where did I just saw that? Oh, I think it was John Oliver just did this.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, very funny.
Which was awesome. Yeah. They've got but like, I like how the news people thought it was like going to be a bigger thing than it was. Like, they're like, this man is sitting right next to you. And they do like, and they play it so dramatic. And the psycho's just like, oh, great.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. You're not dead. And then my favorite one about all of them is this, and it's another like real famous psychic that's been on morning shows or talk shows, or not more. It's mostly like daytime talk shows.
Daytime.
Which again are the people who will buy from over the phone. They buy over the phone almost exclusively.
Yeah. They're also the only people we can get to listen to the podcast, to be fair.
Yeah. So nothing against you. But the psychic, and it was so funny, but he's going through all this stuff, and he gets on this train with someone saying, like, talking about her mother or her dead husband's, like, mom or something. It was something along that lines. But basically, he was like, oh, you know, I'm speaking with your husband now, and he says something about, you know, you potentially, like, there's some disagreement or potentially some dislike between his mother and you. And she's like, no, I loved his mother. And then the guy goes, no. he goes, no, she's definitely calling you a bitch or something. Or like he just doubles down on it, and like he ends up calling this dead person's mother a bitch, and like all this stuff. He's like, I can't help it. That's just what he's saying.
He sticks to his guns. You got to respect it. Ugh.
I'm sure I totally butchered that, but still, very funny.
I think you nailed it.
I love John Oliver. It's hilarious. I think the best part of the episode actually was good, but then when they talk about the news stories where they're giving like death news and they're like laughing through it,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
up.
holy shit, that's messed up.
Yeah. I give them a little bit of a pass on that, though, just knowing that sometimes you're just given a thing to read. and maybe you don't have time to proofread it.
You're like chuckling into a 5-year-old was raped today.
Yeah.
And you're like,
First of all, whoever wrote the headline, "A 5-year-old was raped today," needs to be looked at. You need to lead into that story a little different.
well, there was something similar to that, and the guy's like, yeah, that's good, some good times there. And I was like, what?
No, the one was really messed up. They said something super brutal about. I thought it was like a sports thing or something. Someone ended up like shattering their knee, or everyone knee just goes, "You gotta love that." Clearly not paying attention.
Thrones and Scones, where we recap last week tonight.
That's another HBO product.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, I tell you what, not if we started that podcast, not only would we only have to do one a week, but we'd only have to do it for like 2 months out of the year.
Yeah, they take a lot of vacation time on that
It'd be
show.
much easier.
They do.